how to have a deal maker's mindset, the mindset of a deal maker. And some of the principles of it include the fact that it is a different mindset to be a deal maker. It's also a different mindset than even from being an entrepreneur, right? There's a shift in mindset that happens from people when they become entrepreneurs, business owners, and leaders, from when they are employed by somebody. That's one shift, but there are many entrepreneurs who successfully grow their companies organically, right? Sales, marketing, building great relationships, great products and services. But the whole purpose of this podcast is to say, hey, there's this other way that you can grow your business. And that, in fact, companies that have significant growth usually almost always do both. And that it does take another mindset shift to become a deal maker. And I'm not talking about the bad side of deal making. I'm talking about that work you need to do to shift your mind to be able to look out for opportunities, to understand the risk and be willing to take the risk that's involved with deals, to build a skill set that is specifically deal related. So let's talk about that a little bit, right? Let's highlight some of the things that have to come up. So number one is the very fundamental thing of just starting to think about what are the potential deals that I can do. One of the examples I've given on prior episodes of the podcast, the DealQuest podcast, and if you're listening to this as part of our mini course, you can sort of check some of them out as well, is that very often I ask a very simple question of people, and the fact that they haven't thought about this shows that they haven't fully yet made the shift to the mindset of a deal maker. And I don't say that in any way of being critical or judgment. I just say it's a good indicator, right? So, for example, somebody will come to me and say, hey, Corey, I've been trying to get into this new market, this new, particular niche, industry, vertical, geography, whatever it is, with our product or service. Or, we have a new product we've been trying to market to a particular, niche. And, we're making some inroads, but the marketing and sales efforts aren't as strong as I'd like. We're not getting as much, uptake as we'd like, as quickly as we'd like. And I'll often ask this question, well, have you thought about who already has access to that market, to that industry, is big in that geography? And number one, obviously competitors can come to mind, and you may say, well, all right, we don't want to talk to them. Well, first of all, we've had several people that we've had on the podcast where they've talked about how they actually did deals with competitors. So we shouldn't eliminate that, but let's put that for just on the side for a second and say, what about other complementary businesses that sell into that client base, that industry, that geography, that demographic, and they sell other complementary products? Have you thought about who does that? Have you thought about approaching them with some sort of deal? It could be a business partnership. It could be a strategic alliance. It could be a distribution deal. It could be a sales commission deal, where they serve as your sales team. You could do an actual joint venture company together. There's so many ways to do a deal, but without getting into that detail, because that's much more around structuring a deal, the question is, did you even think about that possibility? Did you ask yourself the question, who can I do a deal with? Who can I partner with? Who can I do some sort of agreement with who has access to that market? If you haven't asked that question, then that's a shift in the deal maker mindset that is crucial, right? Because deals are done with other people. So that question of who else can help, don't get hung up on how it's got to be structured. Just think about who else can help. What is the advantage to them? What is the advantage to you? And on a business level, what would make sense? We could figure out the structure of it later, right? You can talk to us, go to your attorney, whoever it is, and help structure the deal later. So that's one thing. The other thing is the shift in mindset is, listen, what we put our focus on, our attention on, is very often, is the thing that expands, right? The things that get done. So one of the mind shifts we need to do if we want to become a deal maker, we need to say, hey, however I do things, whether it's calendar scheduling, whether it's blocking, whether it's taking, days for things that are priority, that we allocate some of that to deals, to looking for deals, to trying to figure out deals, to meeting the right people, to learning, educating, listening to podcasts like this, like mine, like, reading books, whatever it is, getting educated on the deal side. And then the other thing is to speak to deal makers. And it's one of the reasons why I've done this podcast, because people can listen and talk to, sure, we have some professionals on and people that help deal makers, but we also have people who have done deals, and just listening to them and how they think and the opportunities they look for and the way they evaluate risk and the way they're willing to give up maybe certain levels of control in certain things or not, to get certain deals done, will help you start thinking like, these folks who are doing successful deals think, about. So at a very simple level, it takes asking questions that deal makers ask, allocating time to get educated and to search for deals and to learn about deals and to think about the way that various deals will help your business. And then it is the last thing I'll say in this very quick overview. It's more on the risk element, right? Some people say, "Oh, I'm an entrepreneur." And by the way, we have business leaders, executives who are not business owners who listen to the podcast as well, and might be listening to this particular mini-sode here or solocast here. And most of this stuff applies to you as well, right? I mean, you even if you're an entrepreneur, there's risk that you got to take. But for an entrepreneur, some people say, "Oh, I'm a risk taker, I'm an entrepreneur," but some of us get comfortable, right, in doing what we know how to do and doing, getting business the way we know how to get it. And then even though we're a risk taker in that way, starting a company, maybe from nothing, right, building it up from nothing, having to make payroll every week, dealing with the ups and downs of the economy, we don't, because we don't know it as well, and because it's something we don't have experience with or we haven't learned yet, we may not have that kind of risk-taking appetite on the deal side, right? But you can apply all those skills and all those willingness to take hopefully educated, knowing, a calculated risk that you do as an entrepreneur on the deal side. You just have to get more comfortable on that side, and that's part of that shift of of becoming a deal maker is being able to start to understand and calculate and be willing to take those risks on that side. So, like I said, listen, there's so many of the other episodes we've delved into this more. That's just a quick overview of some of the key things that it takes to shift your mindset to become a deal maker. And I hope it helps you do that, because it's going to help you grow your business. Until next time, Corey Kupfer. Thank you, DealQuest community.